Well, hey guys, today I'm going to talk about nose angle. Yep, I sure did it. Listen, you've got so many videos out there talking about nose angle, but we're going to get into a little bit more detail about what that really means right after the break. Intro, break, intro. Okay guys, you know I love to draw on discs, and this was a no-brainer. And yeah, I've already done all this, yeah, we know. I'm not right in the head. But the other thing I did is I did this with a disc. And what I want to do with this is to help demonstrate the idea of nose angle. And to be honest, I wish I could get this arrow to float above the disc, but that's a whole other story we'll talk about in a minute. But you're always hearing, there are bunches of videos out there about getting the nose angle, and it talks about, pouring the tea, doing all this to make sure to get the nose angle down, get that nose down. And that is very important, and you can go watch those. Some people do a great job at helping you figure out how to get the nose angle down. But I think there's a part of this that we're kind of brushing over or not thinking about. I think we are thinking about it, but we're not talking about it. And I could be just blowing hot air, and please tell me in the comments. I can take it. But there's a three-dimensionality to nose angle that sometimes we don't talk about. We're mostly focusing on the altitude. Yes, the altitude, the up and down of the nose angle, getting it up, getting it down. And that's the kiss of death. You throw it up too high. But there's a second part of it, and I call it the attitude of the disc. And that comes into play more when you're making shots beyond just, I'm trying to throw straight right here. I'm trying to get this locked in. I'm going to use this as an example. I'm trying to throw a forehand approach. I'm throwing an anhyzer around a tree. You know I love to do these shots. So I got to try to get the camera into it too. So what I'm needing to think about when I throw is not just getting the nose on the right up and down, but I'm also trying to figure out how much spin and angle I'm putting into it so that it's going to travel the way I'm predicting it to fly. You see, if I've got an overstable disc, I'm going to have to throw it with a little bit more snap into it and draw it around so that it's going to fight back harder this way. If I've got an understable disc, I can throw it out a little bit more, and the natural understability of the disc is going to draw it in. So the nose angle is going to change according to the disc and the shot I'm going to need, but I need to think about what I'm doing when I throw that shot. So this is a fairly neutral disc. So I know if I take this and snap it and I get that nose angle right at the disc, it's going to go out and it's basically going to travel and go right at the basket. So I would love to have this where it floats above it. And if I threw it correctly, this arrow should basically create that flight track right to the basket, pointing at the basket the whole time. So when I'm getting ready to throw, I'm thinking not only do I get it up or down like this, but how much am I snapping into it to give it attitude? Have you ever taken and trying to throw an anhyzer, forehand or backhand, and you threw it and it just went up and then just crashed off to the right? That means that you didn't get the nose angle right. You threw the shot, but your angle was off. Instead of thinking of the disc coming in and coming around and diving right at the basket, nose first, you've gotten the nose up and you threw it and it climbed the hill, and then it didn't have what it needed to come back down the hill towards the basket. It faded off down the hill the wrong way. And so that's kind of what I wanted to get to in this. It hopefully is just simple to start thinking about, but it'd take a lifetime to do it. But your nose angle is not just about up and down. It's about how you're snapping that disc and you're getting that leading edge to have the right attitude as it goes to the basket. And I think a lot of beginners think, I just need to get that angle right. But what happens is they throw it, and instead of they've got this angle right. That's the correct angle to have, nose angle. But they're inputting, they're throwing upwards or they're throwing downwards, and it's dragging that nose either down or up, so their angle is off. So it peels off this way or it peels off that way. Nose angle is all about releasing and having all the force going in that proper direction that you're throwing. I hope that makes sense. I'm kind of spitballing this, but it's something that's been banging around in my head, and I'm not sure if I'm communicating it real clear. We can talk about it in the discussion. But you really need to think about nose angle, how it's releasing out of your hand as well as just getting up and down. If I'm not paying attention to how much I'm imparting it directly into the angle that I need, I'm going to mess up. Even if I've got the angle at the right angle when I release, if I'm pushing forward or I'm dragging down, I'm really not getting the nose angle correct. And so it's something to think about, that you're getting that angle and you're imparting your throw through that nose angle correctly as well. So this is just a theory I just kind of thought up when I did this. I wonder if you put one of these on your disc, especially like an approach disc, and you got set up so that when you were going to throw your approach shot, you can have that arrow kind of reminding you, kind of like they do in ball golf when they're putting. They put the line on it to give their mind the idea of just, I need to put it there. I need to put it there so that I'm going to be snapping and driving through and getting that arrow to go right to where I want it to go. It's a theory. I haven't tested it. This is one of these things that I'm just beating around in my head. But I wanted to start a discussion about what you think about nose angle. When you're thinking about nose angle, are you just thinking about up and down? Are you actually thinking about the attitude, the spin, the angle that you're putting on the disc as you release it? It's so important about where you're putting all your force into that release as how the disc is going to end up. Anyway, that's what I got. I'm fading off the screen again. But yeah, tell me what you think in the comments, and we'll just play around with this. We'll try to learn together. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you out on the course. All right, I was kind of proud of this. Come on. I mean, hey, how's your nose angle?